What was your audition like? How did you get the like? Did you audition on tape and send it in? How did that go?
No, I had to go in, and it was kind of like, I was at a point where I was letting go. I had not done anything for a year. You know, I was not communicating with my manager as much, you know, because when you're working, you're actively communicating with them. When you're like dormant, you're dormant, and I was dormant. Yeah. And so I was like, this is not reliable. I need a reliable income, and so I'm going to stick to my nursing and stick to my central sterile management, and that's what I'm going to do, which I'm successful at. And then I got the call that I have this audition for the show. I had no idea. I was like, all right, I'll give it a chance. I worked overnight. I walked in there. I'm saying it was like timing aligned, the stars aligned. It was just time for me to go and do what I was supposed to be doing. Because I'm telling you, I got home from an overnight shift. I mixed up the audition time. I was supposed to be there at 1 and I thought it was 2. So I had to get from Brooklyn to Varick Street in like a matter of like half an hour. And I was able to get there, no traffic, Battery Tunnel. Got parking in front of the building. In my scrubs, I was like, look, I can't even get dressed, forget this. My hair was curly, I had a streak. My streak is mine, it's not Dianara's. I did the blonde streak, just so you know. And then I walk in there, I read, and I'm like, oh, great, yeah, the usual. Jen was like, you're great, you're fantastic, thank you. And I'm like, mm-hmm. Walked back and did my life. Back to my, you know, working corporate and studying. And then I get a second call back on Monday, and my manager was so excited, and I was like, okay. I was like, relax, we're not there yet. You have a call back, and it conflicted with my clinicals, and you're not supposed to miss clinicals when you're a nurse. That's like essential. So it was a Saturday. Who auditions on a Saturday? No one, right? At 2 o'clock, my clinicals were like from 7 a.m. to 3, and I was like, this is just like great. I have to make a decision. So I couldn't lie that I was sick because my professor was a nurse. So I kind of had to be honest and tell her, listen, will you let me leave a little earlier? And I actually emailed Jen and said, can I come in a little earlier? Which doesn't happen. I don't recommend for you to email your casting director and say, can you change my audition time? That's not how you do it. It just happened that I took that risk, and it happened for me. Wow. I know it's not because I'm special or anything. It's just,
so you said the stars aligned to a certain degree.
yeah,
It was the
and
right
then
timing.
When I got the confirmation that I was part of this, that was one of the moments that I realized how we're not present. Because at that moment when I got that news, I was at the dock of Long Island College Hospital, and I walked outside and I was in my scrubs, and I just cried because of the excitement of my manager and him telling me your life is going to change. And I was like, I'm kind of crying because I have 2 jobs and I cannot just dedicate myself to acting. Yeah. So I was already thinking about, how am I going to do this?
What if this show doesn't actually take off? What if I just get a couple episodes?
Show take off. I didn't
money?
even know that. I was just like, I can't be available. I have responsibilities. I was not worried about the dynamics of a show, awards, the success of. I was not worried about any of that. I was worried about
having
my
to quit
responsibilities.
Your job. Yeah.
Because I'm just so used to always hustling and getting it, that for me to take time to complete my dream, it was not ideal. It's never been ideal. It's always been putting people first. At that moment was a challenge, was a test. Who, at this point in your life, are you really gonna put yourself forward before anything? And so I kept one of the jobs. I had to let go of one of the management jobs, and I kept one of the jobs while I was filming this.
While you're filming the first season?
Yeah. And I got fired from that job. And I've never been fired, honey. I've always, like, you know, moved on and moved up. And it was I cried when I was fired because I was like, what am I going to do now? Right? Yeah. Because the show hadn't come out. I didn't have a job. I had to go on unemployment. You know, I was living the life with my little Amex card. You know, you have to pay that once real quick, right away. And these are the things, this is real. This is what I was going through while this is happening. And when the show aired, like, everything changed from that point as far as, like, my visibility.